How are you? I just wanted to hop on real quick. I have woke up this morning, like all of us, and heard about George Floyd and what happened to him yesterday. And I just felt like God was telling me that I needed to say something. And I get nervous just doing lives, but then I also get really nervous that I'm going to say the wrong thing on a subject like this. And I was just asking God, I'm like, who am I? Who am I to lend my voice to this conversation? And God reminded me of a few things. Well, I'm a white woman, but I was raised by the chief of police, and I've raised three white men. And, you know, no one deserves the treatment that we've been seeing way too often. And I know that there are good men and women that wear the blue because I was raised by one of them, having a dad that was chief of police. And but when we see injustice, we can't just stand by and not say anything. I fear I'll say the wrong thing. One of the things that I don't like, I've always not liked hearing the phrase white privilege, probably because, that's me in my life. And, I've raised three sons and I don't worry about them. Just this morning, I was sitting and my son came in. I was just having coffee and he came in from the gym. It was like 8 a.m. and he was telling me, he goes, when I left this morning, it was like 5:15 and there was a cop sitting at the end of the street with his lights off. And he said when he saw me, he turned around and kind of watched me as I was leaving. And then he went to the gym. That was the end of the story. He left the house, a cop saw him, a cop watched him, and he just went to the gym and worked out. And in light of the things that have happened, I had to stop for a minute and just thank God that that's how that story ended. And, I've never worried that my boys were going to be stopped by the police. And if one of my boys walked out the door wearing a hoodie, I would not think twice about it. The reality is that's white privilege, whether we like it or not. It's here. The other thing I've always kind of disliked hearing was racist. And I've been guilty of having this thought of, is everything about race? Well, maybe not in my life, but when we see injustice, we have to talk about it. We have to call it out. And, it's for me, I have a lot of friends that are of different races. My husband is Hispanic. We moved intentionally to a community in Fort Worth where there was a lot of diversity, and I have a group online called the Brave Gathering, and it's a beautiful, diverse group of women. But as I'm telling you that, I sit there and I think, what? I'm trying to justify something. I'm trying to convince you that I'm not racist because I have friends that are black, so it's good. But then I have to also ask myself, have I ever crossed the street because I felt nervous? Have I ever locked the door in certain neighborhoods? The thing is, as a woman in my 50s, I was raised in a different time. I was raised in a time of, I probably had maybe 5 African American people in my school. But that doesn't make anything okay. That means I need a mindset change. I need a heart change. That's where God comes in. God, here's what I want you to know. You are seen, you are known, and you are loved by the God of the universe. And I want to love like Jesus. I want to see people the way Jesus sees people. And I want to make a difference. And by staying quiet, I can't make a difference. And so for fear I'm going to say something wrong, I'm going to do something wrong, I've got to take that risk because I need to be educated. I need to know when we see injustice, how do I stand up against it? How do we bring God into this? Because God wasn't in that. I have on my arm right here, it says to serve. That's because last year, my dad, who was a police officer, he passed away. And he took an oath as a police officer to protect and to serve. Well, these men haven't felt protected, and they have certainly not been served well. And so we've got to do something. We have to say something, we have to do something, but it starts with inviting God into it and knowing that that's who gives us the heart change. And we have to remember that we are stronger together. And that's what I want. That's what I try to do in my own life. And that's what my prayer for y'all, that we won't be quiet. That I sat here for an hour trying to convince myself to do this live because I didn't want to mess it up. But don't let Satan silence our voices. We have to stand up. We have to stand together and know that we are stronger together. And so that's what I'm doing. So I just wanted to hop on and just give a word of encouragement and to all of us that are, for our friends that are dealing with it firsthand, that are African American, that do have to worry about their sons when they leave the house. And for those of us that love the community and want to be a support, so that we will not be silenced. So that's it. I just wanted to encourage you, and I love you, and you are seen and you are known, and I just pray that we can all find that strength together. So I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye.